Welcome back to Prime News on HLN. This one's hard to fathom. A 9-year-old boy, a fourth grader, committing suicide. His name's Montana Lance. He was called to the office at Stewart's Creek Elementary School in Texas on Thursday. It's hard, you can see those pictures. It makes it more hard to fathom. He asked the nurse to use the restroom, locks himself in. She gets a key, opens the door to find him hanging. She tried to revive him, but it was too late. Again, a 9-year-old, dead, committed suicide. I want to bring in Dr. Brenda Wade, clinical psychologist. You can always check out more of her thoughts at docwade.com. Brenda, let's just start there. How does a fourth grader come to that point, Brenda?
You know, Mike, there's one thing we all have to understand about emotional distress, and that is that children can and do get depressed. And it's highly likely that this little boy was depressed, and such a young child, but there are symptoms of childhood depression, and we need insight, we need skill, and we need to know how to interpret behavior, because children can be very impulsive. And one of the things we want to look at, if you're a parent or a teacher or a guardian or a grandparent, anyone around a child, and you see the child going through mood swings. One minute they may be up if the friends are over, but then you notice they're quiet or they're withdrawn, or they're acting out and very angry. That's a child who is suffering some kind of emotional distress, and as adults we tend to think, oh, they'll get over it. It's important to intervene. If you suspect something is wrong, where there's smoke, there's fire with kids. Get in there, talk to that child, intervene, try to find out. Now, unfortunately, this poor nurse is probably never going to forgive herself, but it would have been good to say, you know, why do you need to lock yourself in the bathroom, or somehow stop that child and look closely at that child's face. But Mike, I do hope she'll forgive herself. I'm sure that she did the best she could, and I just cannot say enough about how sorry I am for the parents of this little boy.
I agree, Brenda.
And the other children at the school are going to need help.
Yeah.
This is very traumatizing.
Let me get to the statement from the school. And then the school told us that the nurse checked on him. It wasn't like he was alone. You know, she continually checked on him. How you doing? You okay in there? So there was feedback, I guess, while he was preparing himself for this tragedy. Here is a statement from Karen Permetti, Public Information Officer, giving us this, saying that the Stewart's Creek Elementary School staff handled this tragedy with professionalism and acted swiftly in working with the student, family, and emergency responders. The details leading up to this tragedy will remain confidential and will only be shared with the family. And also writing, there is no direct correlation between this tragedy and any incidents of bullying. And that goes to your point, Brenda. We hear something like this. What was going on? What may have led to, say, a depression or a mood swing? So those are the factors we're looking at here, right? As you piece things together.
Yeah, but the other thing, you see, we always have to look, what was going on at home? What's the family history? Is there any chance that this child was being abused by a neighbor, a friend of the family, even the parents? We don't know. We don't want to blame and cast aspersions, but we do want to seek to raise our level of insight when something happens so that we can prevent it in the future. And that's the most important thing, is to prevent these tragedies, Mike.
Yeah, you're right, Brenda. That's why one of the reasons we do these, to find out. We ask the questions, well, what went on with this little guy?
Right.
So if we see similar warning signs, we can prevent this from somebody else.
Well, we are seeing younger and younger children acting out in ways we never imagined possible. And I want to say it on record.
Why, Brenda? Let me stop.
There are two factors. I believe there are two factors. One is we're seeing more instability in families, in homes, in relationships today than ever before because of the economy, because of the distress a lot of people are feeling. The other factor is that younger and younger children are exposed to very violent video games with content that I would shudder to have an adult watch on a regular basis. We just covered a couple of days ago, remember, Mike, the story that children are watching as much as 52 hours a week of TV and sitting in front of a screen. A lot of that content is not uplifting, and it's not teaching our children how to handle problems and feelings.
Great points, Brenda. And that age group, by the way, 8 to 18, and this little guy falls in there. We're not sure again. We're just beginning to scratch the surface on this story.